this is Angela Mead, and I am in Professor Dara's comic book graphic writing class, and this is my literature film review of the movie Batman Returns. Hope you guys enjoy. When looking at comics or some of the stories that originated in the world of comic books, I can't help but to always think of one of my favorites, Batman. I don't know what it is about the character, if it's the mysteriousness persona and being a vigilante, or his innate ability to really heal from his parents' death and trying time and time again to do just that by capturing the bad guy. But when thinking on the character alone of Batman, I will have to admit that he himself isn't the real reason why I would choose this comic book character to be my favorite. But more along the lines that when I think of the comic book Batman, I also picture all of the other characters that I just adored watching and learning about through watching the films as a child. Penguin, the Joker, Riddler, Poison Ivy, and last but certainly not least, Catwoman. The movie I'm referring to, of course, if you're an old fart like me, is Batman Returns. When you had some of the greatest actors known, such as Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Jim Carrey, Michelle Pfeiffer, Uma Thurman, and more, all coming together to make one of the best movies and sequels in the early 90s, Batman and Batman Returns. If you look up the origins of Batman, you'll find that Batman is first presented during the golden age of comic books, when stories of superheroes were on the rise of popularity. Batman made his first appearance in a comic book series called Detective Comics, The Case of the Chemical Syndicate, where he is portrayed as a crime fighter and telling his story of how he was born to Dr. Thomas Wayne and his mother Martha, who were very wealthy and charitable people of the city Gotham in 1915. In Wayne Manor, Bruce is raised and lives happily with his parents until one night, at the age of 8, he finds out that his parents were killed by a criminal, Joe Chill, at the time when they were on their way home from a movie theater. Bruce then makes a promise to avenge his parents' death as he begins physical and mental strength training until he realizes that he wants to inflict fear into his opponents after coming in contact with the bat that flies through his window. So he decides to turn his suit into something that imitates a bat, something dark, mysterious, something to inflict that same fear he had when he was first encountered by the animal. This is, of course, the original version of the story. However, in the movie Batman Returns, a very different story is told. It begins with the image of a deformed baby who has flippers as hands, floating down the river and into the sewers of Gotham City, where he is brought up and raised not by a mother or father or any human parental figures, of course, but rather than a family of penguins, whom he spends his years with and grows up to act like, eating fish, waddling back and forth while wearing a black and white suit and watching humans from afar as he grows the yearning to know his own parents and why they chose to abandon him. Everyone knows the dark, hunched-over character played by Danny DeVito, the Penguin. Meanwhile, the mayor of the city, who is played by Michael Murphy, and Max Schreck, who is played by Christopher Walken, has a plan to build a power plant that will drain Gotham of its energy. His secretary, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, discovers his plot and is thrown out of the building's window only to have a feral alleyway cat lick her back to life. She then plots revenge on her boss, forming a leather-bound stitched suit, killing her persona of a good girl and making her bad. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I love the comic book Batman, Catwoman. As the Penguin decides to come out and join the rest of civilization, there's a newspaper circulation war, and word soon spreads about his crimes, causing him to try to change his image in the public eye. Once Max Schreck gathers a plot to have the city of Gotham in his own hands, Penguin conspires and builds a campaign against him. Once Batman is called by the signal of the bat by Commissioner Gordon, played by Pat Hingle, he is asked to battle against the wave of crimes that's hit Gotham. During his outing, he is encountered by Catwoman, who has the same sense of style as him and able to perform martial arts as well. You get a sense of unspoken romance between the enigmatic characters as they fight and battle one another, leaving Bruce with the claw of Catwoman punctured through his suit and Catwoman thrown over the building, landing in a truck filled with kitty litter. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Catwoman then teams up with the Penguin and plans to frame Batman and turn Gotham against him. The Penguin captures the Ice Princess during the local ceremonial Christmas tree lighting, and previously Batman had already invited Selina, who is also Catwoman, back to his house for dinner. Their romance is enhanced, but is interrupted when they see the broadcast of the abduction on television. Batman and Selina both make excuses to leave as they try to hide their secret identities and come in contact once again as their alternative selves when the Ice Princess is found bound at the top of a building. Meanwhile, Penguin plans his scheme by releasing the princess only to let go of a bag filled with bats, causing her to go over the ledge and appearing as Batman had pushed her while being seen from afar. The princess lands on the city's Christmas tree and hangs from a branch, releasing hundreds of bats that were hidden by the Penguin and his gang of hoodlums. Batman attempts to leave and escape the scene from his Batmobile, only to find that Penguin planted a bomb inside of it. He releases the bomb and returns back to his home. Back in Penguin's sanctuary, Catwoman is pleased with her plan of Batman's demise reputation, but gets irritated by Penguin's sexual advances, so denies him, but is found using yet another one of her 9 lies after Penguin holds her up from his electronic umbrella and she crashes through a greenhouse. The next scene is Penguin holding a press conference where he accuses the mayor of not providing protection against Batman, who is now seen as a danger in the public eye. But his plan is ruined when Batman airs a recorded conversation he had with him as Penguin goes on to tell him how he despises the city of Gotham, causing the people to turn against him. Penguin escapes the hateful crowd and goes back into the sewers where he announces his true plan of getting involved with the Hall of Records is to basically get the names of all of the city's firstborn sons of wealthy families so he can get back at his own abandoning parents and who murdered his abandoning parents and murder them while their parents are away at the Christmas party. I need to change some of that. Bruce and Selina, who are seen out of their Batman Catwoman costumes, are now at the same Christmas party and have discovered each other's secret identities. Penguin then announces to the attendees of the party that all of their firstborn sons have now been kidnapped, and it is soon discovered by Max Shreck that one of these children is his only son. And despite in desperate attempts to save his own son's life, Max barters with the Penguin to trade his own life for his son's. And Penguin agrees and takes Max with him underground to the sewers. Batman arrives as he tries to stop Penguin and is left having to fight off Penguin's army that consists of missile-tied penguins with mind-controlling gadgets and have been released out to the city. Batman manages to have the penguins turn on the penguin and follow him to the zoo lair where they battle until Penguin falls into toxic water. Catwoman now gets the chance to confront her evil boss, who took her life and almost kills him until Batman talks her out of it. With Max seeing his opportunity, he shoots Catwoman, taking away the majority of her lives that remain, and so she electrocutes him with the power line and a taser. Catwoman disappears into the abyss, and Penguin suddenly emerges from the toxic water and dies, causing the penguins to carry him off into the sewer. As the conclusion and endpoint of the film nears, you see Bruce Wayne stopping his limo after seeing a shadow imitating the body of Catwoman, and picks up a nearby alley cat as he carries it back to his limo and drives off, with a bat signal appearing in the sky and Catwoman standing tall on a building nearby. The movie is dark, action-filled, and leaves you guessing with the cliffhanger of wondering what is going to happen next. By far, one of the best Tim Burton films that I've seen. Au revoir.